We're about to begin the season of Advent, which means, among other things, that it's a great opportunity to share some wisdom about stillness and silence from our old friend, C.S. Lewis. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here, Senior Pastor of St. Philip the Deacon in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. Good to be with you as always. We are taping this the week after Thanksgiving week, which means this year anyway, we are anticipating this coming weekend the start of an entirely new church year. The church year ended last weekend with a festival called Christ the King. This is the way that liturgical churches work, at least. We move through the seasons. I think we've talked about the seasons of the church year in the past. So Christ the King is the final Sunday of the church year, and this coming Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent, which is, of course, the season when we wait and watch and anticipate the birth of Jesus at Christmas. And so the season of Advent is, we could talk about a lot of things related to the season of Advent, but it is a season of maybe being still, of quieting ourselves, of, again, anticipating, of waiting, of watching. And I'm going to suggest, happy to have your thoughts about this, I'm going to suggest we don't do that very well as a culture. We just literally yesterday, the day before we're taping this, my wife actually started decorating for Christmas. She refuses to do that until Thanksgiving's done. I think she is probably a bit of an outlier. I think Christmas decorations are available far earlier than that, and we know lots of people, I'm not judging, but lots of people who do put things up before then, which is an indication of our sort of need to rush towards things or to not be quite so open to waiting. Also related to Thanksgiving and also related to this idea of sort of being still, or focusing our attention, of being patient. Our youngest son, Andrew, was home for Thanksgiving, and it turns out that he and I did a little interview for a project for him for school related to some research he had done on how technology and social media and smartphones are influencing human development. And as you might imagine, especially for young people, the evidence is not particularly good. Rates of mental of depression, decrease in mental health, increase in suicides, or in some ways, at least. I'm not a psychiatrist related to all that. And an older gentleman who he studied also talked about his own inability, this other author's inability, to sort of focus and pay attention to things as a result of the distractions of technology. And I certainly am not immune to that. I've got my phone right here. With the best of them, I could scroll through lots of Instagram feeds, which accomplish pretty much nothing for me other than taking up time. So that leads me, as maybe many things lead me, to my old friend C.S. Lewis. In my Thanksgiving podcast last week, I talked about my love or my gratitude for lots of things, including my library. It would be hard to pick 10 favorite books from my library, but if I did, I have a feeling this one would probably be up there. This is a little collection of essays from C.S. Lewis called Fern, Seed, and Elephants. It's got a handful of essays in it, two of which are among my favorites by him. One is called Fern, Seed, and Elephants is the title in this collection. The other is an essay called Membership. And I've probably talked about it before because it includes, this is the membership essay now, it includes a sentence that I've referred to again and again and again. And I'll read that sentence in a moment. And it's related to this idea of, the essay is not about Advent, but it's related to it in the sense that it encourages us to be still and quiet. And he wrote this, and I think I may have mentioned this in this space before, when he was worried about the new technology called the wireless getting in the way of our ability to quiet ourselves, to be still, to wait, to watch, because the wireless was always sort of giving us some stimulus or stimuli to respond to, or silence was harder to come by because of the wireless. That was like in the 40s he was writing this. I can't imagine the depths of despair Lewis would have today. And by the way, it was just the 60th anniversary of his death. He died the same day that JFK died in 19 53. I think it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm just aware of, in our world today, there are so many distractions, technology one of them, so much noise, right? And Advent, among many things, is a chance to try to quiet ourselves, to remove ourselves a bit from that frenetic, anxious energy that is all around us culturally, and to listen to the voice of God. So here's the sentence that I love. Again, this is C.S. Lewis from an essay called Membership. We live, he writes, in fact, in a world starved for solitude, silence, and privacy, and therefore starved for meditation and true friendship. And I guess my invitation for all of us this Advent is to maybe sit with that, to reflect on it, and to try, with God's help always, to quiet ourselves and therefore allow ourselves to have a little more time for meditation and true friendship, maybe with ourselves, first and foremost, with the God who loves us and with those around us. A final request, perhaps, if I might. Given everything I've just said about Lewis's belief that being still and silent is important to the spiritual life, and Advent is, among other things, an opportunity for us to be still and silent and wait and watch and anticipate. If you have ways that you have found to do those things, to be still, to be quiet, to watch, to wait, I would love to know what they are, and I know other people would as well. So would you share them in the comments below, and maybe we can all work a little bit harder at being still this Advent season. As always, thanks for being with me. Be well, stay in touch, and God bless.